Welcome to another MotherTheSonCooking.com lesson. As I've said before, my cooking came from my mother and our aunts. They were very good cooks in the past and got some great, wonderful recipes. However, this one, my mother and I kind of found that we did together. Now, what I'd like to show you are all the ingredients. Here's the recipe right here. Can you zoom in and get everything? With all recipes, and I found this to be true, what you basically need to do is come back and get all the recipes out. First off, it calls for a cup of olive oil. So I have the olive oil. You can use whatever brand you want. The next thing on the recipe is 3/4 cup of clarified butter. For those who don't know how to do clarified butter, all you do is melt it, and if you look on top right there, you can see that little white stuff. Once you melt it down, what it's going to do is it's going to get all the scum to the top, so you need to get that off. Then it calls for a half a cup of liquid brown sugar. Take your brown sugar, go ahead and put a little water in, mix it up, and get it nice and fine. It calls for 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, many different brands you can use. 3 bay leaves, got them all out there. Lemon juice, I prefer doing the home squeezed lemon juice, but a half a cup, but this will work just as good. Then a little dry vermouth. The dry vermouth is a half cup plus 2 tablespoons. As you can see, I've already got everything measured out. Then it comes back for oregano, 1 tablespoon plus 1 teaspoon. Now, one of the things that you do when you're using spices that are dried like this, when you put them in the pan, take your fingers and crumble them up. It breaks the flavor and gives you a little bit more robust flavor. Next one is thyme. Another tablespoon plus a teaspoon. Then garlic granulations. It has, let's see, a tablespoon plus a teaspoon. Cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper is I think it's a little less. Let me look on here. Cayenne pepper is 2 teaspoons instead of tablespoon and a half. Rosemary, 1 teaspoon. Again, if you look at it right there, we need to ground that up to bring the flavor back up. Of course, your salt and pepper. Then poultry seasoning. So what we've basically done, we've got everything out. Now we're going to come over here and look. Usually you need about 6 shrimp per person on the thing. Here's my pan that I'm going to come back in and make the sauce in. Then of course you need your boiling water. You can use almost any type of pasta that you want. I like the thin spaghetti. You can use bow ties, whatever. It's going to make it a nice rich sauce. So anyways, we'll be back in a few minutes. Alright, now what I've done, if you'll come over here and take a look, I took all the liquid ingredients and you can see that I've kind of got it to a nice little simmer. So what we're going to do, we're going to start adding the spices in it. And the reason you do it this way the spices will blend in a little better. There's the 3 bay leaves. Put those over there. Alright. Here's your cayenne pepper. It's pretty ground, so we don't need to crunch it up any. You need to turn this down. I don't want it to boil too much. Here's your rosemary, and as you can see, it's kind of whole. It's been sitting in the cabinet, so what you want to do, you want to pinch it. This will release the flavor. This is kind of it's a tangy. The first time I cooked this, I would have thought it would have been have a lot more heat, but it's a very nice blend of the flavors. Alright, here's a little granulated garlic. Dump that in. Come back in, stir it up a little bit, get it well mixed in, and if you come over here, you can see we're starting to change the color of everything. I mean, it's gone from a light. All right, here is, this one is the oregano. You want to pinch it up again. And this is a tablespoon and a teaspoon, which most of them have. Alright, this right here is your thyme. Again, pinch it. Like I say, it does have a nice tangy taste to it. When it gets to a teaspoon, I've done this so many times. This is basically a poultry season. We need a teaspoon in it, and I've done this long enough to know that that's about a teaspoon. And then you need about a teaspoon of regular pepper. That's about a teaspoon. A teaspoon of salt. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to come back in, turn the heat up a little bit, and if you come back over here and take a look now at the sauce, you can see it's got a nice, deep, dark, rich color to it. So we're going to come back in and we'll stir it up, make sure it's well mixed. We're going to hold it in, let it limp down a little bit. You expert cooks know how to do this, but there's a lot of people that probably doing it for the first time, and that's what my whole website is about for the novice out there. And I probably use about 3/4 of spaghetti, a little piece over there. When you come back in your bowl of spaghetti, all you want is al dente. You got to be real careful with this. Now, what I did in the boiling water, I came back and added a little salt, a little bit of oil. The reason I add a little oil so the spaghetti doesn't stick. Now we've got it in the pot. Get them down. We're going to let it boil for about 6 minutes, and then we're going to come back in and make sure it's not overcooked. One of the worst things that you can do is overcook the spaghetti. Now, I know the lighting was a little bad, but you can see the sauce there. What makes this sauce so good and tasty, of course, is the spices I put in it. It's got the olive oil and the butter, which gives it a very rich flavor. And we'll be back to show you how you serve the 8 to 10 minutes. We let the sauce come in. The pasta's done. You can see the nice glaze in the plate. You can see the olive oil, the butter, and the spices. So this is what we're looking at as a final dish.